Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Maku Night on Disney+. Plus.
I forgot about that.
How? It's all I can see. It's to the point where that's what I think it's called. I'm going to have to train myself to say Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
Okay, so we watched Moon Knight, and I know absolutely nothing about it. I knew nothing going in. I am intrigued. It's way higher concept than I thought.
Yeah.
I think what little footage, because I'm sure I saw a trailer somewhere.
I think we saw like a teaser, but I've seen zero footage, like real footage.
I thought that the thing looked a little silly. Mm-hmm. It's digital.
Outfit?
Yeah, it's digital for some reason.
I was really annoyed, especially in the bathroom scene at the end, that like even when it's faced away, he's faced away from the camera and like bent over, the like billowing of the cape is really fake. And I was like, we could have gotten a real cape to billow.
Well, maybe, because frequently Thor's cape is
it's true.
And Superman and stuff like that. But all that's to say that we're covering it because we cover these shows, and I want to be in on the MCU. And I think it's mainly Oscar Isaac. I've kind of wanted him to be part of the MCU and just in more stuff in general. And I'm intrigued. It's darker. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
It's
super dark.
It's darker than the others. There's been a question for me as to whether I thought Marvel could do horror. They have been claiming that Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was going to delve into horror. And I think that we got some pretty decent glimpses of horror in WandaVision.
Sure. Like existential horror.
The shots of dead Vision genuinely scared people.
That was bad.
Because horror can be done. PG-13 can be done. Horror doesn't have a rating. It doesn't have to be graphic or violent. But the issue is that
Coraline is pretty spooky.
Well, the issue is that it frequently there's a maturity implemented when you're dealing with proper horror that doesn't always lend itself to a family friendly nature. And I mean, anyone who's a fan of Disney going back in time, I mean, the 80s, the 40s, they're no stranger to that. Disney can do it. It was just for me, it was whether or not they would now with something so broad.
Yeah.
And I was impressed. The opening scene with Ethan Hawke shattering the glass, it was nauseating. Yeah. And there was no blood, no gore, but
you know it's happening.
Yeah, the sound, and anytime he walked ever since then, I was listening for glass. Like that, it was a lot. I don't know a ton about Egyptian mythology.
No, but I really love the instinct to do Egyptian mythology, which I'm assuming has come from the comic book as well. But that instinct to me is very interesting and good, because it's like we already have like Norse mythology in the MCU, like that exists. And so it's like, and I guess technically Roman, so the like spoiler alert, Harry Styles of it all, but I like the Egyptian. So in
my limited understanding of the history of comic books, Wonder Woman was very popular very early, and she was very Greek. And Hercules has always sort of been a thing in recent history. He's been very popular. And so Stan Lee leaned into the opposite. He was like, well, everyone's done Greek, so we're going to do Norse. And that's where Thor came from. And I do find it kind of interesting that deference from Greek mythology has created a void, a vacuum where there is no... I think we're going to be getting Hercules in the MCU. I think Thor Love and Thunder is going to slightly backdoor into some of that, because we do know, mild spoiler, I guess, but I won't say who, but I'll say they've cast Zeus, in case you don't know. Zeus, as of recording, is in Thor Love and Thunder.
Zeus has entered the chat.
But no, that was I was Greek mythology all the way. I never got into Norse mythology, and even less so into Egyptian mythology, because Egyptian mythology is just weird. I mean, it's all weird, but it was like Greek was weird in like a sexy way.
Yeah.
And like Norse was weird in like a brutal way. And like Egyptian was weird and like
very specifically, he tells that little girl at the beginning that the way that they like prepared the like mummies or like the dead bodies for mummification is that they...
This big metal hook, right? And they'd go up the old nozzle and all the organs would come out except for the heart.
How come?
Well, because they believed you needed your heart to be judged in the underworld.
And I'm just like, whoa!
For some reason, mummies are the entry point into Egyptian everything.
Yeah.
And it's so graphic, it's so unsettling that it just sort of, yeah.
Oh, because you made me laugh so hard with the title of the show. The title of this episode is called The Goldfish Problem.
Because even watching the episode, I was like, what are we dealing with? Because it drops you in. There's no establishment really. And we meet him already in crisis. And it was very strange because he's behaving like there's something going on.
Yeah.
But he's not acting like there is.
Yeah.
Like he wakes up and he unchains himself to the bed and checks all of his like implementations to make sure that because I'm like, is he a werewolf? Like that's the first place I went.
There's a ring of sand around his bed. He's chained up. There's tape on the door. He's got all the locks from the inside. So presumably at some point he is escaping. At some point he did escape and kept waking up, which
and
he
knows
says.
This is happening.
Yeah. But even with all those precautions, it still happens.
Like on a mental level, he's not really acknowledging.
Yeah, he's not seeking help.
Like he's not, like I said, like his actions are, or even like the acknowledgement where it's like, I mean, I guess we do see him attempting to not fall asleep.
Yeah.
But it's like his behavior in between the blackouts is very sort of like business as usual. Yeah. Like he's not trying to retrace his steps. He's not trying to explore.
He's not trying to like figure anything out.
Yeah. And so I thought that was very strange because there was part of me where I'm like, so does he know this is happening or not? And so he has the goldfish problem. He has Gus, a pet goldfish that only had one fin. And then at a point in this episode, he loses time. And then the goldfish has a second fin. And I can't identify if it's a different goldfish.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. It has to mean something because A, it happened, and B, it's the name of the damn episode.
Yeah.
But it's like, did the fish grow the fin? Did he just swap out his fish?
Well, because the pet store owner says you were here yesterday, and he has no memory of that. So probably he swapped out the fish, or Mark swapped out the fish. Because that's the other thing is we're dealing with like a dissociative personality disorder. Because he thinks he is Steven, but he is also Mark. And then there is Khonshu, the Egyptian deity, inside him as well.
Is that the one that's talking to him that sounds like Optimus Prime?
It's F. Murray Abraham doing the voice, but yes.
Okay.
Oh no.
Well, so we also have, so Ethan Hawke is like a priest of sorts. He a cult leader.
Yeah.
Operating out of Switzerland? This Egyptian cult out of Switzerland?
I feel like he travels.
But they were like in a proper castle. Like a proper castle.
Yeah.
Not like they throw the word around castle anytime there's like stones piled.
Was it definitely Switzerland? I feel like I missed the like location mark.
I think they said the Alps.
Okay, yeah.
It looked like Switzerland to me. It wasn't Egypt.
No, it's for sure not Egypt. I know that.
And furthermore, I'm like, so is he traveling there, or was that mental, like a projection?
No, I think he was there because he lost 2 days.
Yeah. It was very so. Anyways, so Ethan Hawke is like a mystic, a priest-like figure who worships Amit, who is
the one that weighs the heart.
Well, no, Anubis does that.
Oh, she judges your actions.
Well, she's there to eat your heart.
Sure,
she's terrified. Yeah. I was about to be like, hold on to your tits, because she's a demon goddess. She is half lion, half hippo, half crocodile.
Zoinks.
Yeah.
3 halves of animals.
And weirdly, it's the back half, I think, is the hippo. So there's junk in the trunk because she does have the lions. I don't know. Okay. It's crazy. It's crazy. Because that was another thing is I prefer most of my gods more humanoid. So
it's a crocodile face.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
And so I guess so that's what, did you Google her? So I guess that's what he's doing.
He's got like the
scales.
Yeah, scales on his arm.
And he was weighing the people's souls. And so I guess Ammit, she took it upon herself to rid the world of evil, which, I mean, we appreciate the...
Yeah, but in a very Minority Report kind of way. Where it's like, well, you're gonna do evil probably, so we're gonna kill you now instead.
And the other gods, I think the way that they explained it, the other gods interfered.
Yeah.
And cast her out or something. So Ethan Hawke is trying to help her. Did we get a name for him?
His name is Arthur Harrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Arthur.
Okay, that's...
well, it kind of proves my point. Arthur's taking it upon himself
sure, okay.
to bring Ammit back.
Let me just tell everyone now that we're 30 movies and TV shows and properties deep that my main issue with these superhero things is that all of these people's names are from the 1940s. This many people are not named Steve and Arthur anymore.
There's plenty of people named Steve and Arthur. Regardless. So it seems like he's taken it upon himself to set her free, and they're trying to erect a new world order. There was a lot of action, and a lot of kind of shocking, not gore, not like really bloody. Although there was so he has an amulet. That's right. So Stephen has this weird amulet, and Arthur wants it.
It's like a scarab beetle.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, there was a little bit of blood. It was a little shocking. The whole car.
That was awesome. I do want to shout out the action scenes, because that whole thing, especially when he keeps kind of like not even blacking out, but it keeps on like sort of like shaking the camera and everything as he goes in and out of.
Well, we stay over with him. Yeah. So when he loses time, it's just sort of like blipping forward in time.
Yeah.
And so we have no idea what's happening. And he comes out of it sort of, because in one of the blips, he's traveling backwards.
Yeah,
like driving the car backwards.
Down the Alps,
yeah.
like you said.
And so it was very strange. With these Disney Plus shows, I can find the action scenes to be a little bit rote, a little bit like, okay, and now's the 15 minutes of the episode where we watch action. And that was not the case for me in this. I was interested in this. I was intrigued in this, or by this. I think the thing that I'm the most intrigued by is the fact that there is clearly so much more going on, and that Stephen just seems to be in denial.
Yeah. Well, because that's the other thing too, is there's been a lot of talk about Oscar Isaac's accent in this and how it's really terrible and makes him less attractive to me.
My body wants to get up and wander about. You know, like it has to get the 10,000 steps in. You know?
That's what all the talk is about.
That's all the talk is about. How attractive, how respectively attractive Oscar Isaac is to me. But I think that the Steven persona is like a mental protective, like his brain is protecting him from all of this, because Mark seems to have been a mercenary. Mm-hmm. Or like at least a soldier. I think it says somewhere that he was a Marine.
Well, and something's a parasite. They used the word parasite, and I went, "Oh God, are we going to a Venom place?"
I think Steven is the parasite.
Okay,
because I think Khonshu called Steven the parasite.
Okay,
which is like but because he is basically like,
that's weird, because that's the most normal, seemingly, of the versions that we're dealing with. But he has a job at the Egyptian Museum, just filled with terrible broads. Just one of them
was a child. She could grow out.
Gotta go.
But she was just stuffing like candy trash in a replica of the pyramids, and then she was a real bitch. And then fucking Donna.
Don't know how many times I have to tell you this. You're not the bloody tour guide, Stevie.
Stephen. Actually, I am Stephen.
No, you're bloody useless unless you're actually doing what you're paid to do, which is to sell these to children.
Look, Lucy Thackeray, you are doing amazing, sweetie. So good. I want to kick you right in the baby maker.
Right in the cooter.
She's fucking awful. She keeps calling him Stevie, too, which is so rude.
Well, and also the woman that he had the date with. It's like, okay, fine. Yeah, disappearing for 2 days. But she was like...
No, not even willing to hear an explanation?
Yeah, I would be more like, all right. Like, because I would just expect to never hear from him again.
Sure.
But to get a call 2 days later, acting like that's either some grade A gaslighting or like I would be like, I'm in. Let's explain to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's odd, but I'm interested.
Yeah.
He is being so. Do we think that the thing with the bird skull is? Would you say Conchita? Conchu.
Is that the thing with the bird skull? That's
That's
voice.
what I asked. Do we think that because there was a thing following him down the hall?
Oh, no, that's like a hellhound kind of a thing.
Okay. Well,
an Egyptian hellhound. I don't know what they're called.
Well, it was different than the other Egyptian hellhound.
Yeah, I think when he is Moon Knight, I think that's Khonshu.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
It just looked like Khonshu, or it looked like Moon Knight.
Oh,
it had
did?
it had like white like robes and white like bandages on it.
Maybe.
And it was like, because it was standing behind him in the Alps, and then it was following him around the city when he was in the bus. But we didn't see it when there was the like Egyptian. They're called something, I forget what they're called, with the dog heads.
Oh yeah, I don't know what they're called either.
Because that was scary too. Because in spite of what movies from the 2000s would have you think, the night at the museum sounds terrifying.
It's cute.
I believe the movies are. I think spending the night in a museum would be terrifying. That shit is too old.
Yeah, spending the
night. And stolen.
All of it is stolen. Spending the night there would be spooky. For sure. Yeah.
Those Hayekals would be just...
Miniature Owen Wilson
levitating.
Is not always there.
So yeah, we did see at the end, he had a confrontation with Arthur. Arthur wants the scarab amulet back, and there are people that like work for him, like the museum guard.
Some of the museum guards,
Steven isn't giving it back, and then he went ahead and made the like switch. Voluntarily made the switch. Oh well, then there was also the phone. Yeah, so he's hidden. So this is what you said. You think that maybe Mark is like
he's something. Yeah. Well, because Mark has apparently been missing for like over a year, and his wife is looking for him. Layla.
Is that who that is? Okay.
I assumed. Maybe not.
She said a couple months, but yeah, we had Layla, and then there was also Duchamp was one of the calls.
Oh yeah, we don't know anything about that yet, but yeah.
So genuinely more questions than answers.
Yeah, way a lot.
But I was interested and entertained, and I'm curious to see if and how this has.
Yeah.
Not to play this game. It's a game that we don't like to play, but it's like Oscar Isaac he feels more like a movie star to me.
Mephisto.
No, not that game. I started to say Oscar Isaac as a movie star. What's he doing on TV? And it's like, we don't play that game, but it's like, I don't know.
I mean, Tom Hiddleston's a movie star. He was on TV.
Yeah. So
I get it. I for sure get it. But
Tom Hiddleston also was like from the movies. It's like, I'm curious to see if and how he's going to, if he's going to be in multiverse or something.
I'm also very concerned about the state of his stomach right at this moment, because he's apparently vegan and he ate an entire steak.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And then an entire box of chocolates. I think we're going to have some problems.
He really did. Yeah. Wow. So, all right. Well.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe.
Like and subscribe. We love the thumbs ups. Let us know gently if there is anything very specific that we don't get about Greek or Egyptian mythology. I said Greek and Roman before I got there. But yeah, other than that, just like and subscribe, and you can patronize. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.